Hi everyone, welcome to Movie Reviews. I am Kimberly from the Nerd Element, and today I've got several guests joining me. I'm really excited about this because we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, if you haven't seen it, just turn this off right now because this is going to
don't.
What?
No, you're fine. Keep going.
Oh, no.
Spoilers galore.
If you haven't seen it by now, gotta turn in your nerd card.
Yes, go ahead and mail it to us. We'll put the address up after this is over. So let me introduce everybody on the panel. I'm going to start with Antonio.
Hi, guys. Antonio.
We got a bunch of crazy people, you can tell already. Antonio from the Nerd Element. Next we got Matt, one half of Blerds on Nerds. There it is.
I was with you. I was gonna.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Next we have Michelle from the Nerd Element. Say what up, Michelle.
What's up?
LB, what up?
And
I'm Southern, boo. I'm Southern.
And last but certainly not least,
Nah.
Llana from both the Nerd Element and the other half of Blerds on Nerds. Say what up, Llana.
What up? And I just want to say thank you for me being here, and hello, and good night.
Wow. All right. Let's get into talking about this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, first let me know how you guys saw it, what format you saw it in. Now, I saw it with some of you, so I know what format you've seen it in, but let's tell the people what you saw it in. I saw it in IMAX 3D. Llana?
IMAX 3D, we were together.
Yep. Michelle?
2D.
What? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me explain. Can I explain?
No, you absolutely cannot. There's no
I
excuse.
know it's a medical reason. I'm going to get my eyes checked, but I can't. Lately, I haven't been able to watch 3D. It gives me migraine. So.
I do not feel bad.
Only acceptable excuse.
No, seriously, I'm serious.
I know. And now I feel bad.
So, but I have an eye appointment, but yeah, I can't lately. So I've just been doing 2D.
Way to be a bully, Cam.
We'll edit this out.
Matt?
I saw it in IMAX 3D.
Yay. And Antonio?
I saw it in IMAX 3D both times.
That's a hefty ticket price.
Somebody making bank. You sure I can't move out to California if people are going to see IMAX 3D 2 times in California?
It's just left over from Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah, because it was like $22 a ticket to see an IMAX 3D. Here.
Well, they're cheaper if you get them at the actual kiosk. If you buy it online, you have to pay like a gratuity thing.
I paid mine online. It was $15.
Okay.
Mine was 11.
But it's also Indiana, so.
Ooh, that makes me so angry.
In Texas.
Well, I guess
mine
anything
was
out
at
there
night.
then.
Nerd rage.
Yeah. Sorry.
But mine wasn't IMAX 3D. It might have been, 15 IMAX 3D.
I just.
Guess what we have, guys?
I can't.
Hey,
So.
wait. Guess what?
Yeah.
So, like 10 minutes for me, we've got 4D theater with
I don't understand
the
that.
spray and the lights and all that stuff. One of our theaters did that for Guardians of the Galaxy. So you can have the whole Captain EO experience.
Oh, they did that at Disneyland when they showed you like the little intro with Star-Lord. It was all 4D. It was really cool. I would have liked to see the whole movie in that format.
Yes, they have it in there. And so I was surprised. It's expensive though. It's like $21.
Oh, really?
You get water sprayed on you and smoke in your face and your seats move and all that stuff.
But you paid $22, so.
Yeah.
Different. It is different. I need my screen to be floor to ceiling. That's worth $22. And then, if you buy it at the box office, it's different because you're not charged that pesky convenience fee.
I would be mad, though, if I had my mouth open and got sprayed in the face.
Well, then don't have your mouth open.
I know, but what if I was like...
You right now?
what if I was about to sneeze, or I had a yawn, or I opened my mouth to say something and it was like, because if I hadn't seen the movie, I wouldn't know what was coming up. So then it's right in my face.
What if it had got on the mini donuts?
Oh my gosh.
That is
Y'all
a
had
horrible.
mini
Let's not
donuts?
We
let's
did have
not
horrible.
think about that.
That is not fair.
All right, we are getting back into talking about the movie.
Donuts?
Relevant.
I
Yeah,
know,
we
Matt,
did.
right? Right? They
Yeah.
just left us out.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. So I want to know what you thought about the movie in general. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it was just okay? I'm going to start with Matt.
I mean, it was okay. I didn't think it was all that.
Stop.
So
No.
I can't even have a straight face.
So okay, I thought it was an. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. I thought this movie was really, really good. It's extremely different. Llana, you said it best about how this is a true like Phase 2 movie. It definitely sets apart from the other movies because one, it only takes place on Earth for 5 minutes, so it really sets itself apart. I thought it was one of the best, if not the best, individual standalone Marvel movie to date.
Okay, Antonio?
I really liked it, which is why I saw it twice. Lots of good stuff in this movie, and I would recommend seeing it in IMAX 3D because I think that's how you get the full experience, and it's just really, really beautiful in IMAX.
Michelle?
I loved it. It's like every 5 minutes I was like, oh my god, how good is this movie? I'm sitting at work telling my friends, oh my gosh, that movie was so good, you have to go see it. Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. It was like it brought me back to my childhood. What I saw was a cross between Star Wars, Buck Rogers. You youngins you don't know anything about that.
What? She told you.
Wow.
And just yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
All right, and Llana?
I thought it was a cinematic feat.
Wow.
It was.
I just love that. That was great.
I thought, no, you know what? It was a really, really well done movie. And I think what Marvel has done at this point has kind of created the divide between Phase 1 and Phase 2, and which is why there are certain things we didn't get after the credits, as per usual. And this movie has set itself apart. I loved it. I mean, but for me, I can't really compare it to like Winter Soldier, which was phenomenal, or Avengers, which for me, set the bar extraordinarily high. And it was just as a standalone, without comparing it, I really had no complaints about it. I just thought it was really well done. The casting was excellent, and I'm sure I'll see it again eventually.
Well, and that brings me to my next point about ranking this movie around the other Marvel movies. So you're saying that you can't. I think I can, and only because I rank it by how I feel about it. With Winter Soldier, I turned around the next day and went to see it again, which I never do for movies. Very rarely do I see movies twice. And with Winter Soldier, I turned around the next day and went to see it again. Now, a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was just blown away that I was seeing stuff play out on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and on the movie screen, so I was like really geeked out about that. But a lot of it was because of the story. Now, with Guardians of the Galaxy, I really liked it. I actually am going to go see this movie again. But that's how I kind of rank them. I feel like this isn't as good as Avengers for me, but it's right there with Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And I don't know if any of you guys feel like you can rank it or not, but let me know. I mean, what do you think? Michelle?
I think for me it's better than Avengers. Only because is that a problem? Is that a problem?
I saw Llana there, kind of.
Yeah, I know. I saw too. But only because I like space. I
Okay.
love. That's
That's
why I'm a
fair.
big Star Wars fan. I'm a big, like I mentioned, Buck Rogers. There's a obscure movie called The Black Hole. I love is, I like things in space. So to me, that's why it's better than Avengers because I like flying around in space, space battles, space fights, space aliens, different creatures. That I love. So, and then it had a talking raccoon. To me, you can't top that.
That is true. They did have a talking raccoon, and they made you up. There it is. I've got one like back there
Yeah.
I
on my
see you
bed.
have two of them.
Yeah, the one from New York and the one from San Diego Comic Con. So, Antonio, what about you?
I can't compare them to. I don't think I can compare it to the other movies. I think in it just itself, it's just really, really phenomenal.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
a actually really good.
I, I
Oh, go ahead.
I will say it is one of Marvel's better movies.
It is, and for several reasons, and this actually brings me to another thing. How do you feel Disney is handling the progression of these films? Now, what I mean by that is like I know that a lot of people were worried when Disney kind of bought Marvel, and they're like, they're gonna Disneyfy everything. Everybody's going to be like sparkles and rainbows, and nobody's ever gonna curse. In this movie, I was like, there's violence. That inmate got his nose ripped off. There was blood on the floor. There was people that were cursing. There was sexual innuendos. I was like, Disney. I can't believe it. I was excited about it because I'm like, please keep moving in that direction because then you can get darker and it makes me like really excited about Age of Ultron because they kept saying it was going to be a darker movie, but I'm like, it's Disney. How dark can you get? I don't know.
Well, the thing with Disney owning Marvel, I don't think they're really actually like in depth, like going like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I think they're just like they own Marvel, but I think they're just like leaving it alone and not doing the too many hands in the pot kind of thing.
Yes, because we're not going to see any R-rated Marvel movies, I don't think. But the fact of the matter is, Disney hasn't become the conglomerate they are by making stupid business decisions. If they've got a formula that works right now with the Marvel movies, they're not going to change it unless they can find a way, to make more money off of it. Same thing with them owning the rights to Star Wars and stuff. It's like, they've got a formula that works. They technically, yes, they own Marvel, but I don't see them messing with it to the point where they're going to try to make everything rated G because, quite simply, the fans want some type of comic continuity. These aren't G-rated stories that we're hearing. It wouldn't make any sense.
Well, yeah, and here's like that was one comment somebody had brought up when I was talking. I think it was our friend Jesse, where he said he doesn't have a problem with X-Men staying, with Fox because the way the Wolverine is, Disney would never do some of that stuff in a movie. And I'm like, I don't know that that's necessarily true. I feel like they would know their audience, like you said.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they're not gonna, because the thing is, if the movies are bad, they're not gonna make money. It can have a Marvel name on it or not, but if the quality of the movies go down, they're gonna lose revenue. And the quality of the movies, honestly, especially with the past several movies, they've just gotten better. I mean, I'd say my least favorite was probably Thor: The Dark World. As far as, I mean, if you want to, quality of storytelling and stuff like that, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll see a Marvel movie at like the Oscars one day or something. I don't know.
That's not like just special effects, which
Right,
is
because I mean, look at the depth of the story. Like, anyways.
okay. So let's talk a little bit about the makeup and the special effects in this movie. Um, they were crazy. It was crazy, and I'm gonna go to our makeup guy, Antonio.
Mm.
Tell me what you thought about this.
The makeups they were just all phenomenal. There was a lot of work put into all the all the makeups, even the background ones, and some of these makeups for the major characters like Nebula, Drax, and Gamora took about 4 to 5 hours in the chair. And Batista, he had 5 people working on him.
Wow.
That's crazy. I mean, you got to be like, they're all probably like bitter because they've been there for like 5 hours, and Chris Pratt walks in right before shooting and is all like, "Oh, what's up, guys? You ready for this?" I'd be so mad.
And from an article that I read, while some of the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy, like Groot, Rocket, and Thanos, were rendered with computer graphics, the majority of the movie's aliens were transformed by makeup. Over the course of filming, the movie's team of 50 makeup artists applied approximately 1,250 prosthetics between the principal cast and the alien extras.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy. That is, well, no, I mean, I think it's really cool, too, because it's easy to take the CGI route, and they put the time into it. I don't know. Matt, what did you think?
I thought it was amazing. I was really I think my favorites were definitely Nebula and Batista, or Drax. I really love what they did with Nebula. I really love what they did with Drax. Of course, Ronan's was amazing too, but overall was just perfect. Like, I mean, you really couldn't find any cheap route that they went with any character. It was just across the board, just really flawless how they did it.
Michelle?
Yeah, I think Drax is my favorite because, he has those lines, those markings all on his body. So I just imagine someone taking their time to draw each one every day of filming, and it had to be exactly the same. And that was a pattern that had to be the same every day.
Right.
So you had to remember that if you did. I mean, they had a picture and they went by the picture to make sure, but you had to make sure each line, everything connects, so there was no inconsistencies, and that takes time and effort, and I applaud them for that.
Michelle, the next time I see this movie, I'm gonna watch every scene and see for any disconnect. I'm gonna look for that because that's a really good point. I'm gonna look for that.
I mean, if I was Batista, I'd be like, I'm sleeping in this.
Right.
Some actors do go to sleep. I mean, some of them have to get up at 1:00 in the morning so they can start shooting at 8. And I'm just gonna say a big shout out to the special effects makeup designer David White and his team for the really great work that y'all did in the movie. Congratulations, and I hope to see more in the next one.
Yeah, I hope they get recognized for it. And Llana, what about you?
I mean, all of the artwork was really, really good. It was pretty phenomenal. I'm going to have to echo what so many of my compadres have said and talk about Drax's work. I just kept staring at all the little intricate patterns all over his body.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Gamora?
Yeah.
Gamora. I kept looking at the little slits in her raised cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking that looks painful, but I don't know, it did. I'm like, can you do this and open it? But that's neither here nor there, okay? It was a really phenomenal makeup job, and I'm interested in that book, Antonio, that kind of behind the scenes art. I would love to see. I mean, I'm not going to get a book probably, but like I said, if there was a Blu-ray extra special something or other, that's something I would definitely be interested in seeing.
They're gonna have to put that in the DVD. They're gonna have to put that in the Blu-ray.
Is that you said there's a book that's available?
Yeah, there's an art book, The Art of Guardians of the Galaxy, and pretty much every Marvel movie has an art book that go with it. I think the Titan publishing company makes them. And they make one for every movie. They usually come out before or a little after the movie premieres.
Is this one out? I want it.
This one got pushed back. It was supposed to come out the day the movie came out, but it got pushed back to the 12th. Okay. So, I mean, you can pre-order for Amazon.
I'm all trying to look right now while
I
we're
am too.
recording.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's fine.
But you know what I kept thinking about, too, as I looked at Nebula, because I remember reading an article back when The Grinch came out, which was another great makeup job, Jim Carrey, and he was talking about the full eye contacts and how painful they had to bring a pain specialist on just to help him deal with the pain because it's very painful to wear full contacts.
Yeah, letters.
Yeah, so I'm like,
What are full eye contacts? I'm sorry.
it's covering her. It's just not the pupil. Like you notice, like some
It
of them
covers
have
the
their
white
pupils
too.
change. Yeah, it covers everything. Um, so it's always amazing to me to see people have that on, and then they're still acting, but you know that they're in a whole lot of pain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So kudos to her. And I I knew Lee Pace was in this movie, but I forgot. Because I was looking at Ronan, and I did not see Lee Pace at all. Like I just didn't. And it wasn't until the end of the movie when I saw the credits I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot. So I mean I think that's a credit to one his acting ability and two the makeup job done on him. So yeah, that was really cool. So let's get into character development. Like I said, I was with character development. I'm a big character development person, and with Avengers, you had several like individual movies that developed those characters. So when you saw Avengers in an ensemble, you already had attachment to those characters. With Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a group, and I was a little worried about how I was going to feel about those individual characters because it wasn't a long movie. It's 2 hours. I'm like, how are they going to develop these characters in that short amount of time and get through the story? So what did you guys think about the character development? I do think they pulled it off. We'll start with Matt.
I thought they did a really good job. Obviously, there's some loose ends with Groot and Rocket Raccoon because obviously Rocket Raccoon has a pretty messed up history. And Groot, you really don't know much about him except he's a tree. And what they was told about you when they were being scanned in the prison. But mostly, I would love to learn more about them because I haven't really read the comics of their stories, of their individual stories. But overall, I thought it was pieced together very well. I didn't feel like it was missing. It would be a nice bonus to know.
Okay, Llana?
I appreciated the character development. I thought Marvel has definitely, and the various screenwriters have definitely done a better job with that. Because I'm coming into Guardians of the Galaxy not really knowing too much about the series, not really knowing about the characters, so I'm starting the way I imagine quite a few people started, but by the end of the movie, I actually cared about each individual character. I cared about everybody's backstory, and the story was done in a way which made me care what happened to these people, beings, aliens, and plants. So, so for that reason, because I left caring and wanting to see more, I think it was well done.
Michelle?
Yeah, I think it was well done too. I realized I thought that when Rocket was fighting because he was a little tipsy. And he was like, you don't understand, you don't know what it's like. She called me this, he called me that. I was feeling for him. Like, I was like, oh. And so, yeah, I think they did character development really well for what they could work with, being that there was, like you said, no standalone movie for each character. For what they could work with in one movie, the character development was done very well.
And Antonio?
Yeah, I thought the character development was done really well. I know you didn't get that much history on the characters, but there was like enough emotion in there to, just figure out what they've been through and to relate to them and whatnot. And I actually did read the Marvel one-shot comics they did for Nebula and Rocket and Groot, and those give a more in-depth on those characters.
I do want to say that I loved Gamora's quick backstory. I thought that was done the most fluid, especially when she went into the prison, and that was really all I needed for her. Like going into the prison, everyone wanted to kill her, and Rocket was kind of giving that really quick backstory about how everyone knows who she is. And I was, like how Michelle, how you were saying you were feeling some type of way for Rocket. I was feeling really emotional for Gamora when she was in that cell, just sitting by herself.
Yeah,
I felt really bad for her, in that moment.
You know what's, well, I mean, again, it's a credit to the story writing because they really didn't spend a lot of time on these characters, but what they gave you was enough because they delivered it really, really well. I felt sorry for everybody. I felt sorry for Drax and his story, with his family. Like you said, Gamora, everybody felt sorry. I came home and I hugged my Rocket. Like, I just was like, you poor thing. I was just, and then they gave you a little bit about Star-Lord, and I'm assuming that you might see more of that in the next one, but they gave you a little teaser there, I think with him, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm a big character development person, and I think they did a good job. I really do. I was really impressed with it. So, speaking of these characters, and I think you had touched on this before, Llana, but what did you think about casting? And I'm not even just talking about the main characters. I'm talking about some of the smaller roles as well. I think they did a fantastic job with casting. Glenn Close was in it, and she wasn't even in it for that long. But I think they nailed it. It's easy to start expecting stuff from Marvel just because of the product that they're putting out. But I still like to, for lack of a better word, marvel at how they keep one-upping themselves. So I don't know. What do you guys think about the casting job? We'll start with Antonio.
I thought the casting was really well done. I mean, I know a lot of people were skeptical about Bradley Cooper playing Rocket Raccoon and Dave Bautista acting for maybe for the first time in a larger role, but I think all the characters were well casted, and I think everybody did a good job with their parts, even the smaller characters.
Michelle?
Yeah, I think it was really. I agree. I can just continue what you're saying, that they did a very good job. I wasn't really worried about Rocket Raccoon. I followed Bradley Cooper since Alias, so I've always liked him as an actor. So I wasn't really too worried about him. I liked Drax. I liked Chris Pratt. I liked everybody. So there wasn't really anyone I was like, I did not see. Maybe also because I didn't read the comic. So I can't compare to what the comic has these characters like to say, well, that person really didn't do this well for the character. Because to me, they're awesome, because I'm just, as a moviegoer, I'm seeing an awesome movie. I'm not knowing that, well, no, she really has this personality, or she really would have done this. So, of course, the acting and casting is great to me.
Mm-hmm. Good points. Matt?
I thought it was done very well. I've known of Guardians just in the Marvel Universe, but again, like Michelle said, I'm not really tangible either. All I know is that Rocket Raccoon has a strong English accent, or it's alluded to. And even like in the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game, Rocket Raccoon is in the game, and he has a strong British accent. So that was the one worry I had, but again, I don't read the comics, so I thought what they did with the characters, including casting, I thought it was done very well. Bautista really did surprise me. Not that I was going in with him being disappointing, and it's not like it's a really strong stretched role, like an Academy role, but I think he just did well for what he was given. And I think my least favorite cast was Karen Gillan, or Gillian, as Nebula. It just seemed like the aesthetic she was one of the most gorgeous characters in the movie, but sometimes I felt that she was kind of trying too hard, with all that yelling, and it is kind of slightly. That was the least favorite moments of the movie for me. But other than that, I thought it was just really well. I do like her as an actress or an actor, especially coming from Doctor Who. But other than that, I thought they did a really great job. I think they surprised a lot of people, especially with Vin Diesel and Bautista and Bradley Cooper.
And Llana.
I thought that Nathan Fillion did a great job. Oh, I'm sorry, he wasn't named.
Did you see him?
I know who it was immediately because
you were looking for him.
This is a spoiler thing. You can go ahead and say it.
Not really a spoiler per se.
Saying when he came on, I knew.
I didn't.
I didn't. She told me off the podcast, and I remember that scene extremely vividly. And
me too. And I still can't remember that being him.
they just didn't sound like him. But again, like Llana, I
He did a
completely
great
agree.
voiceover.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Because if you didn't know it was him, it's like you're not supposed to know it was him. But if you're crazy like me, I need Antonio to wake up. So,
Had it
what?
been Zach, I probably would have known.
No, but all jokes aside, I think I was surprised too. Honestly, I was really surprised by Bautista just because I didn't know much about him. I knew, I was surprised at how well he did. It was a nice, pleasant surprise because I didn't know what to expect from his character at all. But he had some really funny lines, and
Yeah.
that was a pleasant surprise to me.
Yeah.
I thought
Especially,
Zoe.
I was saying, especially when he was drinking the alcohol.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I thought Zoe did great. I thought she did. I thought she did better than she did in Avatar and Star Trek. Honestly, I feel like she was given a good script and was able to show some range a little bit. And Chris Pratt, he did great. I was just watching Parks and Rec today.
I just picked up Parks and Rec today
Yeah,
because of Chris Pratt.
I know, it's so funny. He's so hilarious in that show. And it's just nice when you see these actors that maybe come from TV who aren't as well known, and they're given a chance and they just kill it.
Mhm.
I mean, I love that. So I'm really, really happy about everybody's job. I think everybody. And, like I was telling Matt when we did the podcast earlier, I like seeing like Glenn Close and John, and even though her part, she's a great actress, her part wasn't huge, but it's just nice. You have all these names that people recognize,
Yeah.
that are in the movie. I think that's really cool.
I think what you said about Nebula, I mean, I can kind of see that, but I think she was supposed to be very robotic, and we saw why a little bit towards the end during that fighting scene. And I think at that point, I understood why she was acting the way that she was. But up until that, I was like, I don't know. I think she's I felt the same thing, that she was like trying too hard.
I would gladly watch the movie again to reassess her character just because the movie. I mean, everyone was really good. And I guess she being my least favorite. She's like the least best, I should say. Like she wasn't bad by any means. It's just it's just at the end you did see that. And by the way, when she got hit by that rocket, I'm sorry, I cried laughing so hard.
Right in the movie theater on the ground, huh?
And when she got up and she like popped her jaw, I was done.
My mouth was open. I couldn't believe I was seeing that.
Yeah, but I thought they were good.
In the comic one shot, she actually had to cut off like her whole arm, which is why it's all robotic. She got caught in this net that you can't cut it with anything, and Gamora was like, "Here's this knife. See you later." She's like,
So where can we get
die
these?
or do?
Where can we get these one shots?
I know.
I would love to read them.
You could probably just get them. They might be on the Marvel Unlimited thing if y'all have them.
Yeah.
I think they're making a trade paperback for him. I think they made a trade paperback for him too.
I think I'll well, if not Marvel Now, Marvel Unlimited, at least the Marvel app in general, the Marvel comic app. If you're going digital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I will totally need to see that. I'm going to take a look at that as well. So I was a little I think I had a little geeked out moment, and I was sitting next to one of our friends, Ian, who had the same kind of moment when we first saw the Kree on in Guardians, and I'm like, so then my brain started like going back and forth. It's the same reason why I geeked out in Captain America. I'm like, okay, so what are the implications? Because we were seeing bits of this in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They've got more Marvel things coming out with Netflix and Agent Carter, and I'm like, where do you think that we're going to see this tie into any of those? Or are they setting up for maybe like other movies? I don't know. What did you guys think about that? Did you think it was a coincidence, or?
I think personally, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back on, there's going to be lots of implications from what happened in the Collector's collection because it just exploded.
Yeah, that's
Kind of like what happened.
good point.
Kind of like what happened with Thor: The Dark World when the prison was broken into, and the one chick came the one chick came down and was trying to control all the men.
Mm-hmm.
On the same
Yeah.
as the Asgardian staff too. So I think there's gonna be a lot of ramifications for what happened at the Collector's place.
Okay. That's really that's a really really good point, and I don't know how many of you watch Agents of Shield. I know Antonio does. Okay, so I see that face. Michelle, do you watch it at all?
Yes. I thought
Okay,
you
so-
knew that. I'm
Yay!
feeling her.
There's so many
I'm
shows.
pro Agent of Shield.
Yeah.
Good for you, Antonio. Good for you.
What do you think, Michelle?
I was just thinking about that Kree stuff with Agent Coulson
Yeah.
finding the
die.
alien. That was the first thing that came to my head. Like, okay, what are they going to do with this? Because he's Kree, and he found the Kree, and where's this going to go? I wasn't even thinking, like, Antonio, I ain't going to lie, he opened up, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about the Kree and how the Kree were going to impact the show.
It blows my mind. We're sitting there watching a movie and we automatically think about a TV show. I mean, when does that ever happen? Llana, do you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I am a fair weather Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. person. I watch it when it suits me. When I don't like it, I will skip several episodes until somebody says, hey, this happened. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch that, and then they get on my nerves, and then I turn it off. It's back and forth.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just go on to the next question then.
Yeah, I have nothing to say.
I am a big fan of Agents of
That's
S.H.I.E.L.D.
awesome, Michelle and Antonio.
Very
Can I just say,
Oh my God.
when Homeboy turned evil, what? I
I
just
have
don't
hope.
like what they've done with Ming-Na's character, and that just completely turned me off because what's going on now is so predictable. I'm done. I'm done.
Well,
I'm sorry.
We could gladly have a Google Hangout, and it would just be Shadanika or Llana and myself versus everyone else. So
We could do that.
We can do that. We can do
I
that.
have my points, and I
do
feel like
that.
Llana does too. I just anyway. So let's go to the next question, Kim.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. So about this movie, like, did you feel that there's a lot of setup for future events or movies in general? I thought there was a lot of setup. I mean, I know that you had mentioned, because I had listened to the podcast today, and I know that Matt and Llana, you had talked about how they're just kind of giving you little tidbits of Thanos, setting him up to be the major villain in what Avengers 3. It pains me that I have to, because we haven't even seen Avengers 2 yet, so it pains me that I'm probably looking at 4 years, maybe even more, before I get to see Thanos in all his glory. But what did you think? Do you think there's a lot of setup in here? I mean, I definitely think there's at least a lot of setup for Guardians 2. I'll start with Matt.
I think there's a lot of setup, especially with Chris Pratt's character, his father, Peter's father. That's a really big thing. Also a setup with I forgot his name. I call him Merle from Walking Dead.
Yondu?
Yondu, especially with that. I don't know if he's going to be like a pseudo antagonist or whatever, but clearly he's coming back. I was a little turned off by the climax because I'm a big Ronan fan. He's like my favorite villain, or anti-villain, whatever, in the comics, and he's still alive in the comics. So I'm not sure. I'm like, is he really gone? But I feel like that has an impact too, because he's not the only judge or accuser out there. So I feel like that would have a big impact too, and he has a big following in the comics. So I feel like that would possibly have like a ripple effect of negativity of the Kree or of the Kree fanatics or accusers, judges, for the rest of the Marvel universe. I feel like that's not going to be the last of the Kree that we see. You know, as you said, Antonio, about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., having the Kree be an impact there, I think it'll be an impact throughout the universe too.
All right, and what about you, Llana?
I'm going to go with what Matt says because I don't know the Marvel Universe half as well as he does. I'm a DC girl all day, every day, never hit that. And so for me, this is all learning. I'm learning. I'm taking it in. So whatever he says is probably right. I don't even know the people he was talking about.
Well, one more thing. I'm sorry. But the Infinity Saga was the last big saga, well, before Original Sin in Marvel, and that was the main antagonist was Thanos, and Ronan was at the end of that story, and he ended up being one of the people that helped the Avengers to stop Thanos. So it's like this saga just happened. So
That's interesting.
I'm like, this saga literally ended like 4 months ago, and y'all are killing Ronan in the movie. So he's like the Doctor Doom. Like, he's a bad guy, but he's kind of misunderstood, and he just kind of does what's right for his people.
He's more anti-hero-ish.
Yeah, I mean, but he's helped the Avengers before this saga, so it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird.
Do you think that he's gone? Or do you think that, I mean, what do you think? Because, I mean,
it's an Infinity Gem, so he's gone.
Possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very possible to come back. I believe with all the gems, you can bring people back to life, so I wouldn't be surprised if they circled him back. I mean, he's a really great character, but he's just not dead in the comics, so it's just weird.
Antonio?
Yeah, I think they set up for a lot of stuff, with Thanos and I guess the stuff that happened in the collector's collection, because with the gem like exploding, making everything explode, you have to wonder, so if something happened, what happened to the gem that he already had? If it's still there or not.
So that's a very good point. We don't really know where all his stuff went because there was a massive explosion. So
and we don't know who picked up his stuff.
Exactly.
People who were around are like, oh, well, maybe I'll take this.
And also, there were a lot of like living people or cultures that he had captured. So, they could have gotten away.
True that. And Michelle, have anything to add about that?
Okay. It's only because I'm like, I'm a DC girl, and I read up a little bit on Guardians today. Wikipedia, which you can take with a grain of salt, but I read up on Star-Lord's background, Groot, Rocket, not Ronan. I didn't read up on him, but so they changed a lot, believe it or not, in this movie. They changed a lot. So he could be alive because they changed a lot of background.
They changed some stuff about Star-Lord too.
Yeah.
They changed stuff about the Infinity Gems because certain colors aren't matching up to what they're supposed to be in the comics.
Oh.
Well, I think we knew that because remember in the movies, or not should they remember, but in the previous movies, like the cube. It just left my tongue, but
the cube. They said it was Did they say that one was the power gem or the space gem?
It's the mind gem. So the one that Loki used.
The one in Loki's staff?
Yeah, that's the mind gem because he was able to control people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this gem is. I was guessing maybe space.
This one was the power gem.
Power gem?
Yeah, they announced it was the power gem. And the red one was the
ether?
reality gem. Yeah.
The ether was what?
The reality gem.
From Thor: Dark World. Yeah, I mean, they kind of, well, they haven't necessarily announced it, but obviously in the comics, like, they're true stones. And even when he gave the origin of them, they came out as stones, and then they turned into all these different, like the Tesseract Cube. Yeah, like all those different things it transformed into. So I'm interested to see what the other ones look like and how they're origined. I like what they're doing with that. Also, I'm interested to see the follow-up with Nebula because she's not dead.
No, and I'd like to see a little bit of history of them growing up. And she had mentioned she was she liked Gamora the most out of her other siblings. So I'm interested to see her other siblings and what Thanos did to them because obviously they were both altered physically. So that'd be interesting. Wait, how many Easter eggs, guys, did you catch? Because I got really excited when I saw the collector's room, but I was so excited, and I knew that there were clues there that I was just like, and then it was gone. And so I have to go back again and just like that and
Yeah, the
stare
second
and try
time
to
around
see everything.
you'll catch them all immediately.
So did you guys, how much did you guys catch? And it just, not even that, but just throughout the movie in terms of Easter eggs, what do you think that you found and whatnot?
Everything.
Nothing.
Go ahead, Lana, you start.
Nothing. I
Nothing?
caught. No. I mean,
You caught Nathan.
Well, I caught him. Yeah, but this is like, for me, like I said, this
I'll
is
be
a
right
whole
back.
different universe, so I wouldn't have even, I'm sure I saw stuff, but didn't even know what I was looking at. You know, it was much easier for me, yeah, because I'm so much more familiar with, like, Iron Man and Thor and, you know, Captain America, for me to catch things in those movies. But for this one, you know, I'm familiar with the Collector, because there's been different incarnations of that type of character in like Star Trek and DC and stuff like that. So that concept wasn't completely foreign to me. But as far as knowing what I was looking at, I couldn't tell you if I saw any or not.
What about you, Matt?
Besides like the literal Easter eggs, like, you know, the people that are coming into the next movie or the next universe or whatever, I honestly didn't catch any. I felt that a lot of them some of them were handed to you, like they like literally pulled your hand out and was like, this is an Easter egg. But the collector's office or house or whatever, I really tried, and the first and second time I saw the movie, I really tried to see the Easter eggs. And it was just really hard for me to figure out what was what, besides like besides like the Infinity Stones or incarnations. But I'm interested to see what Antonio says, because I really want to know what these Easter eggs are.
Okay, so well, a few of the Easter eggs were, you know, the Dark Elves, the Chintari. If you've seen James Gunn's other movie Slither, which was like about the bunch of alien worms like taking over, trying to take over the planet, he had a few of those worms in his collection, so that was a little homage to his, I guess, old movies. You obviously see the Tesseract and the Aether when, you know, the collector is explaining about the Infinity Gems. You see Cosmo. Spoiler, Howard the Duck.
You're supposed to say spoiler first, and then
I did say
Pause, and then pause.
you see Cosmo, and then you said spoiler.
If they haven't seen the movie by now,
Then what? They suck, Antonio?
yeah.
Please.
But of the movie of Star-Lord's dad from Yondu, because in the comics his dad is, I don't know how they're gonna change it in the movies, but in the comics his dad is, like what Yondu said, a dick. And I think that's why in the comics his dad's like an emperor or something, or like a president. So that makes Star-Lord like a prince or something, which is, I think that's why John C. Reilly's character said, "Oh, Star Prince," as a little Easter egg to say, "Oh, you know, that's who Peter Quill actually is."
Well, I heard Rob Zombie did some sort of voice, or he did a voice, or who was he in it? There's no way I would
He
ever
did a
recognize.
voice.
He did a voice.
He did
I
a
would
voice.
never recognize his voice or him, so I totally didn't.
Oh, and
Could
James
have been
Gunn's
one of the
brother.
aliens in the background and would have blended.
The only Easter eggs I got was not really like the comic ones. I got the music, of course, in the 80s and the 70s, and I got the stuff from TV and movies. So, like, yes, I saw the Dark Elves, I saw the Shintari, I saw the Tesseract, of course, Howard the Duck. I got all that. I didn't get the, if you read the comics type Easter eggs, I got the past movie Easter eggs and the pop reference Easter eggs.
I feel like a lot of them were like just literally handed to you, like Michelle, like you said, like all the setups, like all, you know, the bit at the end with John C. Reilly talking about how, you know, we're glad we didn't take him to his father, you know, like it's like those things were like they just like told you. I think they knew that this movie was going to be obscure. I know Marvel was betting on this movie doing well, and it did, but I think they knew that, so they kind of had to educate us a little bit. Versus, like Iron Man and Winter Soldier had so many Easter eggs, but they were so, we all kind of know Captain America and we all kind of know the Avengers setup, so we can kind of recognize those Easter eggs. Versus Guardians, a lot of people just don't know about that comic. They don't even know it exists.
Yeah, I know. Oh, go ahead, Antonio.
I think one of the other Easter eggs was that James Gunn's brother was one of the Ravagers. He was Yondu's right-hand man.
Oh, really?
Brother?
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that they decided to do Guardians of the Galaxy. Although, actually, if you think about it, probably not, because Iron Man before this movie wasn't one of the more well-known Marvel characters. Bless you. They turned it into one with the quickness, and the same thing can happen for Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think it was well-known, but everybody loves Rocket now. And everybody loves Groot and these characters, so I mean it works. So for box office predictions, you guys, I know it did something like 94 million this weekend. Do you think it's going to stall? I mean, there was other movies that started out, like I think Godzilla started out very big, but it didn't break the 250 million bar that they kind of set for movies. And do you think this is going to do that well? Do you think it's going to hit that, I don't know, do as well as maybe Avengers total? I mean, it's interesting because like you've seen it, Matt, you're going to go a third time, and Tony, you've seen it twice.
Yes.
I think everybody I've talked to is going to see it at least more than one time. So, I mean, do you think it'll hit it?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
I would say, I think when this movie, analysts were saying months ago this movie was supposed to do between $45 and $60 million. Mm-hmm. Marvel was hoping for more than that, and they really got their wish. I mean, they set a record for August openings. It's, second only to Winter Soldier this year, because I think Winter Soldier made 96 and it's made 94 in its opening weekend. I think it's well on its way to making the 200 million. I know, statistically, the decline is 27% drop off, but also I feel that a lot of people just don't, from week to week when it comes to gross, box office gross. But I feel also, when I was in line for the 2D version, there were people behind me that were like, oh, what is that? Is that a Marvel movie? And they clearly weren't going to see Guardians of the Galaxy. And I feel like as people talk more and more about this movie, I feel like it won't necessarily do more than it did this weekend, but I feel like it'll still have a nice, steady either rise or flow to where it'll continue on to that 200 million. I think it'll do very well. I think it'll break that.
I don't think it's opened in China, and there was some Spain. I think there's a couple other big countries that it hasn't opened in yet.
It hasn't opened in the UK yet, I don't think.
Oh, wow.
No, they got it. The UK got it before we did. Start. I don't want to start.
Why do they do that?
I can't.
Well, at least we had the red carpet premiere here first, though.
They say they make more money doing that, but yeah, they're going to make more money because the pound is worth more than the dollar, so I don't really see... I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they can't open it, at the same time, but it is what it is. They filmed over there. Maybe it was a condition of filming there.
Possible.
But yeah, I think the movie's going to do really, really well, and from my Facebook feed, from my friends that have seen it, they're like, why haven't you, people are like, just go see it, if you, stop whatever you're doing and go see Guardians of the Galaxy. And I don't think I've really heard anything really bad about the movie at all from anybody on my Facebook feed.
I was struggling with this, and maybe I'll ask you guys. So for somebody who isn't a big Marvel fan, my dad would ask me. He hasn't yet, but I know he will. Should he see Guardians of the Galaxy? He knows nothing about Marvel Universe. And he's seen Captain America because I told him to. He's seen the Avengers and whatnot. Would you recommend it to somebody who knows nothing about Marvel?
I would.
Yeah, it's a good movie, regardless.
Yeah, I think for a lot of older people, they can get all the '80s references to music and what Star-Lord was saying since he was raised in the 80s and
I was singing every song with him.
Right.
Every song.
I think this is like the one Marvel movie that's a feel-good movie. Like,
Mhm.
even in the dark times of the scenes, I think you were made to take those scenes seriously. But I feel like they didn't make Ronin so dark that it was like the Winter Soldier or like the world was going to end. It was just a feel-good movie. I mean, it was a comedy action movie. It wasn't like Winter Soldier where it's like a kind of a slight comedy, but also it's kind of a dark spy film. I think this is such a good standalone movie. I would recommend anyone, people that just like a good movie. I think anyone will like it because you don't need to know. They really do give you everything you need to know for Guardians. Yeah, they did modify some stuff, but they really do give you James Gunn did a really good job, and the screenwriters did a really good job of just kind of spoon feeding you in a non-negative way or derogatory way to guide you through the film. I think they give you exactly what you need, nothing more, nothing less. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good taste of an obscure Marvel universe.
I think it was a very feel-good movie to the point where when Marvin Gaye and Michael Jackson came on, I was almost out of my chair dancing.
Oh, at the end credits, with Groot, I was on that.
When they played Marvin Gaye, I was done. I was like, okay, that's right. Let's go.
When Groot came out of that plant, I swear he looked like a baby Michael Jackson. I was like, yes.
Oh my God.
The hands.
It was so cute. It was so cute.
It was very cute. They're gonna make one. They have to make one. No, you know what they're gonna do? It's gonna be a Comic-Con exclusive that we cannot get.
Make one what?
I'm gonna get what I want.
From Hasbro.
Get what?
It's gonna be a Funko or somewhere where no one's gonna try.
Some people are in the process of making their own right now.
I'm gonna get the soundtrack. I don't get a lot of soundtracks for movies, and I'm getting that one.
Yes.
These songs they're not new.
Soundtracks on YouTube too.
Is it on iTunes? I'm about to buy it right now.
It might be. I think it is on iTunes. But since we were talking about box office earlier, I just looked up on Box Office Mojo. Worldwide, this movie has made $160 million.
See, and it's only been the UK got it a couple days before us, but I don't think it was significant, and it hasn't even opened up into major markets, so it's going to do well.
Domestically, 94 million versus foreign, it's only 66 million.
See, open it here first. Okay, no, I'm over it.
They've almost made their money back for the movie just in.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1 is on iTunes, or probably Amazon too, I'm sure, for $8.99.
Done and done.
I am buying it right now.
Really? It's already on iTunes, the full album?
It came out on July 29th.
What? So, this is going to bring me to my last question. The end credit scenes, guys. Okay. This is not fair to the movie. It's my fault that I'm a little salty, and it's because I waited in line at Comic-Con for 24 hours to get into Hall H to see a plan from Marvel. To see a plan, this is what the different phase is going to be. These are the movies that are going to happen, and I didn't see that. And so I took that disappointment. I was like, it's okay, because I'll see Guardians of the Galaxy, and the end credit scene will show me something. So I know what's coming, and yeah. So I don't know. What did you guys think about the end credit scene? Did you like it? Were you disappointed? Did you think it was awesome? I'll start with Llana.
I didn't think it was awesome. I thought, it was a joke, and it was, it is what it is. I mean, spoiler, you guys. Pause. So when there's Howard the Duck, I'm like, but I think from what we're used to, the end scenes in these Marvel movies have become so kind of critically important in the continuity of these movies. I think, again, they're really separating out these Phase 2 movies, or these Phase 2 movies that are using what were considered minor characters from the Phase 1, because there's just no tie-in at this point. It happened in space, so why would you see Nick Fury? You know what I mean? It doesn't, you don't necessarily have to see anybody from the first set of movies. So I would have liked something that would tie into the next Phase 2 movie, though. I mean, that's what I've come to expect. So, unless there was something there that I missed because I'm not a Marvel head. Anyone?
What about you, Michelle?
Well, first I was confused because Howard was tall and skinny.
Right.
My boyfriend Jordan had to explain to me that it was 26 years later, and that Howard the Duck was old. Because I was expecting the Howard Duck from my childhood, but then that was
The one
set
from
in.
the Lucasfilms version.
Yeah, because I thought, and then I was like, oh wait, yeah, he probably is older because this is. You forget. You forget by watching the movie because of the music he's listening to and his references. You forget that that's actually set now.
Yeah.
Like, that's 26 years later. That's right now. So you forget that. So when I saw the end scene, I was like, why does Howard look like he's been through some things?
And you also got to remember, like, we also got to figure out how long has he been with the Collector?
Since the end of the movie.
And I thought, did he leave? I didn't remember the movie from when I was a child. Did he leave Earth? I thought he stayed on it.
He went up in a spaceship, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See,
I didn't like
forgot
that movie as a kid.
I
I didn't
liked
like
it,
it either.
but I liked campy stuff as a kid, so.
I was like, ugh.
I was indifferent about it.
Yeah, me too. I think because I didn't like Howard the Duck as a kid. So,
But James Gunn stated that it was not supposed to be like the other Marvel after credits. He said it was supposed to be a joke. But I did read that dog with the helmet, the space helmet.
Cosmo?
Yeah. Oh, see, I don't even know who he is. He is part of them, so that might be a little something for the future because he's helped the Guardians before in the comic books. I read that. So that could be your little tie-in to the next one other than just a joke thing because he said Cosmo is, that's part of the Guardians. So.
They showed him a couple times.
Yeah, he's really significant in Guardians. I think, for that end credit scene, I just don't think they were ready to tie, besides showing Thanos, I don't think they were ready to really tie Guardians with everything that's happening on Earth right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they see. I feel like Marvel is like Apple in a way, meaning, or Samsung, whoever you want to call it, like meaning like they're already out to Phase 8. Or maybe that's too far, but Phase 5. Like, they already have this flow chart of how they want to do these movies. Obviously, it depends on how well the movies do. Like, if Guardians didn't do well, then they would change their plans. But I feel like, when Howard the Duck showed up at the end, I definitely rolled my eyes and kind of chuckled. I wasn't mad about it. But it just makes sense because, like you said, or I think, Llana, you said it, like, Nick Fury's not going to just roll up and be like, hey, what's up? We need you. The only person that is any tie to Thanos is Gamora and Drax. And then when they announced Guardians 2, that's in Phase 3.
Yeah.
So that's Phase 3 is when Avengers 3 happens. So maybe they'll tie them in Avengers 2 because obviously Thanos is a galactical problem that affects all races, all planets, all universes. So I think they'll come together then. But for now, they don't need to. I think that they did it right. Yeah, I wanted something at the end, but it made sense. I think it made sense.
The whole time, I mean, it was 2 or 3 times we saw Cosmo. I was waiting for him to talk, and he didn't.
There were rumors that he was supposed to, and
I thought that's who Rob Zombie was.
No, but do you know who did the voice for Howard the Duck though?
Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green did the voice for Howard the Duck.
I mean, that's interesting. I think it's cool. I think it adds to the light and feel goodness. I feel like this movie is all about nostalgia. So, it's for people that are older or people that are really used to that song or that soundtrack. It's just, if you don't really care for the movie, I feel like the soundtrack will drive you to enjoy the movie.
It definitely was for people who are older.
Yeah. And then Howard the Duck is like a cherry on top. Like, this is an homage to all the old school everything. Kevin Bacon. I mean, like all that stuff is like all
Yeah,
it's
I was
all
just there.
nostalgic. Yeah, it's all nostalgic.
It just went right over some teenagers' heads. Like they're like, Howard, what? Like I don't even know when Howard the Duck came out. Like that was
80s.
80s. It has to be
was
80s.
it like
It was the
that was
80s.
the 80s, but it was I don't know when in the 80s. I mean, I don't.
Late. I think it may have been late 80s.
Like 80 something.
May have been 88 when the movie started. No, I just thought it was good. I mean, I'm ready to pre-order the Blu-ray 3D version right now.
Okay.
The problem I'm having is I told myself that I would not do this because I will not buy individual movies and then buy the Phase 2 pack that they've got. I'm only buying one, and it's that Phase 2 pack. So I'm sitting here in silent torture because I don't own any of these movies. So I want to.
Are they making? Did they make one of those for Phase 1?
They
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
It's on Groupon right now, or it was on Groupon a couple
Awesome.
days ago.
Did you get Phase 1, Kim?
No, I didn't because I bought the individual movies, and I'm like, I'm not doing this again. So I'm waiting.
I
And
didn't buy
hate
any
it.
of them. I kind of want to. I want to buy Marvel Phase 1.
They
Uh,
have
The only one I own is Avengers.
Oh, I do own Avengers. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I actually don't own Avengers.
that was like a must. I got that immediately.
Yeah, basically, I need Avengers because
My friend Torrent gave me Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, the Phase 1 is you can get it at the Disney Store for $150, and it comes with it's a cool case like with a Tesseract in the middle, but it comes with the Avengers, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 1, an additional bonus disc. So things like Iron Man 3, all the obviously the Phase 2 won't be there, but yeah.
You know how Marvel's been releasing those little short little Marvel one-shot things with their DVDs?
Yeah.
What do you think they're gonna have? Do you think they'll have one for Guardians of the Galaxy to tie in
No
something?
idea. I haven't seen any of them because I don't own any of the movies.
Well, it didn't. I don't. Yeah.
You own some of them. You said you bought.
Mm. Oh, the first round? Yeah, the first. Not
Yeah,
the.
you own those one shots.
I have. Although I don't own the first Captain America because
It was garbage.
yeah, it wasn't garbage. It was not entertaining to me.
was it garbage?
It was not garbage. It was a great origin movie.
It
That's
was
what I
very
call it.
character development heavy, but it was not enough action for me. So.
K Michelle.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up here, guys. I want to let everybody know where to find you on the interwebs. So let's start with Antonio. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook at Antonio Jones. You can find me on Twitter at AntonioJ31. And you can also find me on the Nerd Element where I do vlogs and blog posts.
All right, Matt.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Turn up.
About to start.
About to
Turn down for what?
Right. Okay. You can find me on through Blerds on Nerds, my podcast with Llana. You can find us on Twitter at Blerd Nerd, or you can find us on Facebook at Blerds on Nerds.
Michelle.
You can find me. Sometimes I live tweet for the Nerd Element, blog for the Nerd Element. So at the Nerd Element, and then my own personal Twitter is at Comic Geek Girly, and Instagram for the Nerd Element, and my own Instagram at Comic Geek Girly.
And my own.
I got my own Instagram, and I got my own.
I'm a Southern girl. Don't hate.
I got
hate.
my own.
My mom is from Texas. Okay, I know all about it.
I got my own.
Kim told me she likes the character, so I'm keeping it.
Lana.
You can find me on Facebook,
Are you mad? That's sigh before.
but that's my private page. You can find me.
She said that's my private page.
You can find me on Blerds on Nerds on Facebook at Blerd Nerd. Blerds on Nerds podcast available on iTunes, Libsyn, and Stitcher. Also on the Nerd Element YouTube channel. Also, thenerd element.com. where I've written a thing or two on there, and you know, I'm HR, so what are you gonna do?
Wow.
She's gone.
Oh, at Llana, I do have a personal Twitter. That one's okay.
Okay, and you can find me at all the stuff that they said, and my personal Twitter is at anime23. But basically, all social media that are an element, look for us there. And everybody who listed where to find them, I will go ahead and put this in the comments and in the description. I mean, on YouTube, so you can have that. So check that out, and let us know what you think. Comment below. I really appreciate all you guys meeting with me today to go over Guardians of the Galaxy. It was fun. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.